Hey, good morning, everyone. Hey, thanks for joining me for today's devotion. I just had a startling revelation I'd like to share. You ever wonder why peace seems so elusive? I know Paul told us to let the peace of Christ rule in your heart. And in Philippians, he tells us not to be anxious about anything. And Jesus told us, blessed are the peacemakers, for they should be called the children of God. So there's this tension. We long for peace, but we live in a war zone. There's only brief and temporary ceasefires now and then. But Satan roams about like a roaring lion, seeking to devour us. He's got his demons. They're seeking to destroy us, and at the very least, to nullify our witnesses. So we've got principalities and powers and nations and people and a culture who are against us. Who are to seek peace and pursue it, and yet wage war against the enemy. We're told to take up the full armor of God so we can resist the devil and his schemes. I bet Satan would love us to think that we're all on a nice little Sunday school picnic and we could run around in our flip-flops and old t-shirts instead of storming the beaches of Normandy with the full armor of God on. That's made my head hurt. How can we seek peace and pursue it and wage war against the devil and the evil forces in this dark world? But peace is not found in weakness, but in strength. So maybe the way to peace is through waging war against everything that sets itself up in opposition to Christ. There's a great passage in 2 Corinthians chapter 10, starting at verse 3. It says, though we walk in the flesh, we're not waging war according to the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not of the flesh, but have divine power to destroy strongholds. And these strongholds are not machine gun nests dug into the cliffs. Paul goes on to say, we destroy arguments and every lofty opinion raised against the knowledge of God, and take every thought captive to obey Christ. Do you notice where the enemy stronghold is found? Right here. The battle is raging here. That's why we're to take every thought captive to the obedience of Christ. Every argument and opinion that is contrary to Jesus is a potential battleground. So we're to destroy arguments and every lofty opinion raised against the knowledge of God. Enemy doesn't want us to think clearly about sin and righteousness. He doesn't want us to be exposed to the truth because he's the liar and he wants to distort and pervert the truth. Guys, that's why we need to stay grounded in Scripture. That's why the helmet of salvation is such an important part of the armor of God. The victory that overcomes the world is our faith. Jesus wants us to know the truth, abide in his words, and the truth will set us free. Guys, our emotions reveal our heart too. When we're angry or discouraged, depressed, anxious, or throwing a pity party for ourselves, fearful or irritable, it's likely because we're believing the lie. To battle sin is to really battle unbelief. We don't trust the promises of Scripture. And we exchange a passing pleasure of sin for eternal rewards. Guys, we're in this war together. We need each other. COVID has separated us, but now as we're getting back to some kind of new normal, don't forsake the meeting together, but encourage one another. We're not in this battle alone. I've been reading the chronological Bible this year, and it seems like God is leading his people, and he goes to hostile territory. God doesn't send them into battle. He leads them into battle. He goes before them. So take heart if the battle seems long and unrelenting. God is going before you, preparing for the victory. Don't be afraid to follow. Guys, we're in a war. And the best way to win is through strength and being prepared. So put on the full armor of God. You can check that out. It's found in Ephesians 6, starting at verse 10. Pray up. Stay grounded in the Word. And hang with other believers who will encourage you. Then we can have peace. Because greater is he who is in you than he who is in the world. Love you guys. Have a great day.